Are you dealing with a narcissist and you are at your wit's end and you want some ways to powerfully deal with that narcissist? By the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to powerfully deal with that pesky narcissist in your life. Hey, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm an attorney. I've been recognized by U.S. News as one of the best lawyers in America. I've also written a best-selling book, Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win. I have taken thousands of people from where to begin all the way to breaking free and living the life that, you probably want right now. So if you are new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. If you are coming back, welcome back. This is a community, a safe place, a place where we come together. We are inspired to create the life that you want. Yes, I give you negotiation tips so that you can shift that dynamic, flip that dynamic instantly. And today, you're going to find out powerful ways to deal with that narcissist. You're going to want to watch all the way to the end so that you have 5 powerful ways of dealing with that narcissist in your life. And by the way, if you want my new book, Slay the Bully, slaythebullybook.com. Right now I'm offering a free masterclass, a free workbook, ways to get out of that situation with that narcissist, all right? So make sure you get that. Remember that a narcissist at their core is a person who needs that constant source of narcissistic supply. You're dealing with a person who's internally like starving, desperate, gasping for breath, gasping for air. It's scarcity at its utmost extreme. They're super fragile. They act super strong, but they are energy vampires because they need that external validation at all times. You are that food source for them. They don't care about you. You're a possession to them. So despite their confident exterior, they're actually quite vulnerable to any sort of perceived criticism, any sort of perceived slight. It's like this glass almost. And any eye roll, any sort of slight of any kind can be that thing that makes them snap. It's called splitting. They instantly go from black to white, good to bad. You are either for them or against them. And if you're against them, you are public enemy number 1. So you have to understand that this is the behavior pattern that you are dealing with. And so when you go to negotiate with them, by the way, that's what you are dealing with. And you're dealing with a person who's literally, their brain is like the brain of a toddler. The limbic system part of their brain has an arrested development. And that is the part of the brain that becomes activated when you flip that switch. It's called narcissistic injury. And when that part of the brain becomes activated, that's what you're interacting with. You are not interacting with the prefrontal cortex of the brain. You're not interacting with the part of the brain that is the thinking, cognitive part of the brain that is rational. When you're dealing with that, you have to remember that they're going to become sulky. They're going to become irate. They're going to become pouty. They're going to have a tantrum. If somebody else is stealing the spotlight, if somebody else said something that they don't like, if you interrupt them, they have a problem with all of that. And so they're going to use these methods to control you, to dominate you. They might say things that, you're the only one that thinks that. That is incorrect. You are misremembering. You're trying to manipulate the situation. They're trying to get you to be back under control. They're so desperate to get things back under control because they're just so out of control at that moment. A person who knows who they are, who authentically knows who they are, who authentically stands in their own power, doesn't act this way. You are dealing with a toddler, basically. That's what toddlers do. You take their drink away, they flip out. How do you deal with that? How do you interact with that? Well, the first thing you have to understand is you have to start looking at it as if you are observing them. You have to take yourself out of that situation. Preserve your mental space, preserve your emotional energy, set clear limits on that. Define what behaviors you're going to accept. If a narcissist is frequently making demeaning jokes at your expense, you can just say, I don't appreciate those jokes. Set boundaries. I would say step 1, don't run. Step 2, make a U-turn. Step 3, break free. So what are you doing to turn that around, to course correct this situation? How are you starting to course correct? Setting clear limits, starting to look at that situation as if you are a third party, taking yourself out of it. I can see that you're upset. I'm observing that. They say something really, really awful. You're wearing lipstick. You look like a whore. You don't have to even say a thing. That doesn't mean that you're never going to wear that lipstick again. You don't need to say another word. Number 2 is stay grounded in reality. What is real? What is your what if? What is your evidence in reality? Keeping a clear sense of reality helps counter the effects of gaslighting, of the what ifs. So, for example, if they say they never said anything hurtful, but you know that they did. If they say that never happened, you can keep a journal as a personal reference. And they're going to sneer at you. Why do you have to keep journals? Why do you have to do that? Let them sneer. Let them say the things that they're going to say. They don't want you to have control of any sort. Just stay grounded in reality. You know what's true. You know what's not. And if you're finding this helpful so far, put "so helpful" in the comments. So helpful, because you are starting to create your narrative instead of theirs. Next is don't feed their ego unless you're doing it for your own benefit. I have this thing called fluff or favor, vomit later, which, you're going to fluff up their ego to get something that you want out of it. Don't do it unless you have to. So don't continue to give them more and more and more supply by continuing to be with them or allowing them to, condition you, unless you're doing it for strategic purposes. Don't lead them on. You have your strategy, your leverage, you're anticipating, you know where you're going, that S, L, A, and Y. So once you have your strategy and you know where you're going with this thing, you follow your plan. If you want to get started, go to winmynegotiation.com and get started with my Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet. Go to winmynegotiation.com and get started. Literally help thousands and thousands of people. Limited emotional engagement. I say you start to set even soul distance. Even if you can't distance yourself and you're still in the same house, you start soul distancing. Engaging emotionally, especially in confrontations, you can lead to exhaustion, but you can start to know what's true, what's not. You're starting to shut yourself off emotionally. You can't trust them, but that's okay. I can see what's happening here. You can just start acknowledging. So if they use a past mistake, they start bringing up something from 15 years ago, because you brought up something that happened today, you can just say, I acknowledged that mistake. I learned from it. We moved on. Let's focus on the current issue. Don't allow them to take that ammunition from 15 years ago to manipulate what's going on today. The next thing is seeking support. Make sure that you have the support and guidance and help that you need. So, I have a support group in my Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. Make sure you join that. And I also have a sponsor on this channel, BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung for therapy If you need access to therapy, it is a sponsor on our channel. So we receive commissions. It doesn't cost you any extra. We just want you to have access to the help and support that you need. Navigating a relationship with a narcissist is challenging at best. It's soul-sucking and draining and emotionally traumatizing at worst. And so you are going to need the help and guidance and support of a lot of different resources. Therapy, people who love you, people who support you. So seeking external perspectives can help you and provide that validation and grounding that you are going to need. So getting your army of people that of light and help and support, who people who are going to love you, is going to be so important. Crucial, really, even. What not to do, don't expect them to change. They're not going to change. They're going to continue to love bomb you and pretend like they're going to change. Without professional intervention, it's going to be completely in vain. And they're going to pretend to be empathetic. They're not. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Don't try to have confrontations with them. Don't try to make them care about you or admit that they did wrong or admit all the things that you did for them. All of these things, none of it's getting you anywhere. It's just going to lead to blow-ups. You need to be strategic in where you're going with this. You need to address concerns in a way that's strategic, tactical, and have a plan. And never, ever, ever compromise your self-worth. I always say, here's what's negotiable: contracts, issues, terms. It's not negotiable: your self-worth, your self-esteem, who you are. Remember that. And remember that you're going to need self-care. You're going to need to take care of yourself. You're going to need to have things that you can pivot your mind to, things that you can make sure that you are looking at to take care of yourself, worth yourself, your well-being, painstaking steps to have those boundaries. If you like today's video, make sure you like it, make sure you share it out, make sure that you are getting it in the hands of other people who can use this information. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. And the next video that I want you to watch is 5 ways to crush a narcissist in negotiations. And remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I will see you in that next video. And remember, they only win if you give in.